So Corrin, I have to say though, this is a good ring in a certain context, but not like. So I guess we can start with the engage skills. So this is a really good ring, like in terms of like 2 out of 3. I think this is like a really good ring. So first up,
Hmm.
let's go to Corrin. So Corrin has very good like abilities. We'll start off with an engage skills, and we'll count the Dragon Vein as one. So the Dragon Vein
Hmm.
is basically a vein that lets you create. I actually need to pull up my notes here. Let me see. I'm not gonna go over all of them. Like I'm not gonna cycle through people because obviously it's different. So you can basically create a specific area. Like you use it to add a special effect to certain like spaces. And if you're a dragon, you can choose any of the vein effects. If you're a backup, you basically create stone pillars that increase your defense and res by 3. If you are a cavalry, you create water that decreases the void. It's 30. If you're a covert, you create fog that increases the void by 30. This is basically the same fog from like the fog breath. If you're an
Hmm.
armor, you create vines that grant you immunity to break. So basically, it's just Storm's Eye, kind of like from Hector.
Hmm.
Um, if you are a flying, you create healing glow tiles that restore HP. However, the thing is though, you can't. The flying unit that creates them doesn't get them because they don't get any
Nope.
bonuses from it, which I thought is stupid. If you're mystical, you create flames that inflict damage, kind of like Edelgard's flame gambit. And if you're a key adept, like you just saw with Cito, you create ice pillars that hinder movement, basically just obstruct tiles. And of course, like I just said, if you're a dragon, you can create any of them, which is super powerful. The problem that I
Hmm.
have is that Corrin gives you HP, matching, and res, and that's not something Roxy needs at this point. If Dreadful Aura, if you initiate combat, now you only get this if you're engaged with Corrin. If you initiate combat, the target foe that you attacked and all the foes within one space cannot move for 1 turn, which this is very powerful. Now, obviously, this is only powerful like if you're
Hmm.
like 1 to 2 range, but it's gonna be powerful with her next skill. And if you're a covert, not only do you inflict like basically it's gravity status from heroes, but also you also give them -20 avoid on that target. So that's really good, and it's even better when you combo it with Torrential Roar. So you use to attack 3 spaces in a line, and not only do you attack within those 3 spaces, you also turn those 3 spaces into water terrain. So not only that, like if you combo that with the Dreadful Aura, like you're basic, and because you're engaged with the Torrential Roar, you also the enemies that are within that straight line, they also get hit with Dreadful Aura, and the units around them also
Hmm.
suffer the Dreadful Aura status. And if you're a dragon with actually dragons are the only ones that get a special effect from the Torrential Roar. The range increases from 3 to 4. So yeah, like with the torrential roar from coverts, not only does the enemy suffer like 30 of roar from the water tower, but they also suffer another 20 from the dreadful aura. So yeah, dreadful aura and torrential roar and dragon vein, like no matter who, like dragon vein obviously that's very selective, but the dreadful aura and torrential roar are pretty good. I have to give this 5 out of 5 stars. Like for like it's
Hmm.
so powerful.
Yeah, no. Corrin is very like utility focused, and her engage abilities definitely show that. She's all. I feel like Corrin is all about like setting up for other people, but also like almost defensive in a way. Because of Dreadful Aura. There have been like several times where I used Torrential Roar and Dreadful Aura, and like it saves me, because like I'll have too many enemies that I can handle, and then I just Torrential Roar, and then all of a sudden a ton of them can't move, and I'm like, okay, I can figure it out next turn.
Hmm.
Um, and then of course, like you said, Dragon Vein is really good, especially on a dragon. It's too bad that she gives magic and res and HP. Um, I just blinked out. Oh, and then another thing I was gonna say, like, since she gives magic and res and HP, like, you might think to give her to a mystical unit,
Yeah, we're gonna
but
go
her
over
Dragon
that.
Vein, yeah, her Dragon Vein, when you give it to a mystical, is like you said, it's the area of fire, but when you use it, you're also in the fire.
Yeah, it's
So the next turn you take
stupid.
damage.
It's
Yeah,
so
I think that's
stupid.
I think that's even dumber than the flyers not getting the healing effect.
Like, oh my god! Like at least with the Edelgard, like the fire isn't like on the tile that she attacks with her
Exactly.
flame gambit. With the
Same with Roy.
mysticals,
It's not on you.
yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah. That's my only gripe. But overall, I'm also gonna give a 5 out of 5. These are some seriously good skills.
All right, now next up is skill inheritance, which even though most of her skill inheritance is pretty meh, I think 2 skills definitely bump it up for her to give the rating that I will be giving to her.
I think I know exactly what you're gonna talk
And I
about.
actually know who I think I'm going to give this to. It's just for like So Corrin, obviously, as you can see, doesn't give a lot of skill inheritance. She basically gives HP and quality time. Quality time, I think, is what you should definitely inherit onto her, and I do think I'll actually inherit this onto Cito. And she gives sword focus, which again, like, stay with me, this doesn't really matter because sword focus, why focus for swords? Swords are the most accurate weapon in Fire Emblem.
I know.
You don't even need this. It's so garbage. Now, Draconic Hex, that is not garbage. Now, you may be saying, well, why is Draconic Hex so good? Well, first off, you're going to be running into seal skills. Like, we've already seen a couple of seal skills in the parallels we face. The thing is that you don't get seal skills in any way, shape, or form. If you want a seal skill, Corrin is the only way you're going to be able to get a skill, and that's through Draconic Hex. And the thing is, though, that it's a -4 to all of the foe stats. The seal skills that usually are -6, and it's only to one stat. Here, and you don't even need to do damage. You just need to basically, unlike with poison with daggers, you just need to basically hit the foe. Or no, you don't even need to hit the foe. You just need to like initiate combat, and you'll debuff them to -4 stats. And the thing is, though, that in past games, this was kind of like Draconic Hex kind of lost its luster, or just seal skills, because bosses had like like dragon skins, which would like nullify it or like reduce the effect of Draconic Hex or seal skills. Not in this game. Draconic Hex, this dragon skin isn't in this game. So even Sombron is like, he will take -4 to all stats with this, even though he turns into a dragon. Like, that's why Draconic Hex is so good. Like, skills like this, like, I don't know why Dragon Skin's in this game, because now this like skills like this and other skills just cheese bosses so hard. Like silence, you could like silencing bosses, debuffing bosses. Dragon Skin is in this game, so you can silence like Sombron in his first form. It's so stupid.
That's insane.
Now, obviously, Corrin, when you do a paralog, is definitely worth getting because you get pair up, which yes, that also costs a lot, but it prevents you from taking damage from foes' chain attacks no matter what. So
it's so broken. I love it.
Yeah, that's really good on like tanks like like Louis, because he'll just take 0 damage, like, and after that nothing can damage him. And the thing is, though, here's the thing: even if they do 0 damage, like the enemy will and like let's say they'll just do 0 damage, like both the like the enemy will still initiate combat to you because the AI isn't smart enough to take pair up into account. So what you can, and because the AI really likes using chain attacks to target you, you can basically set Louis up against a lot of physical attacks and with backup units. And the thing is, though, that the AI, since it's not smart enough to take pair up into account, they'll still target him, and you can actually get retaliation strikes against him. And you don't need to use stuff like assign decoy or reduce his defense. They will still target him. That's how broken pair up is from Corrin. So even though Corrin, and at level 18 you get quality time plus, which is actually restores HP, it restores 10 HP instead of the 5 from the base version. So yeah, Corrin's skill inheritance, even though there's not a lot, what it gives is like, it's not like with like Byleth or like Hector's where it's like there's a lot of garbage. I had to give it, like, because of like how much there is, I had to give it 5 out of 5 stars. Like, the skill inheritance is so broken because you don't normally have skills where you can debuff targets, and a skill that just nullifies all pair-ups where you can also like cheese the enemies. I had to give 5 stars for that. Yes, it costs a lot, but obviously with the well and stuff, that doesn't really matter in my opinion.
Yeah, I love Corrin's inherit skills. Like, people like to give like HP plus 10 a lot of flack, but for a unit like Seedall, just putting more HP on him will help his survivability, and you're not like with a unit like Seedall, he doesn't have as much competition, I feel like, for his skill slots because he's not meant to be in combat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you give him like quality time and HP plus 10, I mean, that's some support capabilities, you know, with quality time, but also increased survivability. I do prefer HP and luck from Tiki on Seedall. But if you don't have the DLC,
Yeah, because that actually costs less, it seems. Because HP plus 15, actually, the max you get is HP plus 15 from Corrin. That costs 3,000. So you might as well, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just save up for Tiki.
Yep, exactly.
And
But
get this.
if you don't have the DLC, then HP plus 15 is still a lot of HP.
Yeah, but that's 3,000.
Yeah, but the HP and luck just helps a little bit more with survivability because you won't have to worry about crits as much. You know, you don't want him to defeat enemies. You just want him to survive if he ends up in combat somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, and I've already talked about how much I love Draconic Hex, especially on dagger units.
Oh yeah.
And pair up, I've already talked about how much I love pair up on armored units. So yeah, I'm also gonna give a 5 out of 5. I love her skill inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can definitely tell she is a utility emblem, but she does it really well.
Yeah. Now we have to talk about something that isn't 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, no. Oh god.
Oh god, this is just what the fuck.
Yeah, remember when I said she's a utility emblem?
Yeah, oh god, that holds true. It
shows.
Here. So yeah, Corrin starts off with the dual katan, which is basically it's like it says here, it's basically the Lance River. The problem is that the Lance River is more useful because, like, let me just see here. I have to check this out because I think these give the same stats. The Lance River. Comparing this to the dual katan, the Lance Reaver, let me see, where is it? Lance Reaver, here it is. So Lance Reaver has, in comparison to the dual katan, 1 extra mites, 5 extra hits, and 2 more weight. The problem with the Lance Reaver is that Roy gives you strength, which can combo well with the Lance Reaver. Corrin doesn't. Mm-hmm. She gives magic, and the dual katan doesn't target magic. It's literally just that. So you need, and plus, even if you put this on a strengthy unit, I find that the dual katana just can never, like, it never helps me.
Yeah, it's just not there.
Bad. It's so bad. So yeah,
I've used it a few times only to break lance enemies, but I wouldn't actually like try to kill someone with it.
Like even lance units, I never use it. Like, it's just the might is too low, and even on strong units, I find they just can never do the damage with it.
Oh yeah, no. When I do use it, it's been very, very rarely. But it's not like the Yato, which I've literally never used.
Next up is the Wakizashi. So this is a ranged sword. It has really good. It has okay stats on it. The 10 might's good. The 75 hits okay. 10 weight though is and then minus 10 of what, like, why
yeah.
And then it's also 2 range only. Like, you cannot counterattack with this. Like,
yeah,
I thought that if you were gonna bring this in, like give the Kodashi at least with that you can actually, like, you know, counterattack. The only thing is that you can actually follow up with this, but you can only strike it like a 2 range from this. So it's basically, it makes you basically just an archer, which, and the thing is though, if you have this equipped in combat, you can't trade it around because emblem weapons can't be traded around in combat.
Yep.
So you're locked with this, and if you go up against a lot of, like, sword masters or something, well, you're gonna have to deal with their counterattacks because you can't counter them. And next up is the Yata, which is the only good thing, but even then, like, 16 Maya is good, 85, like, 16 Maya is really good, like, 85 hit is good, the 10 crit, 10 avoid, and 10 dodge, and 9 way only is good. The problem is that the Yata, you have to go through so much for this, and even still, there are better swords than the Yato. Like, this is not, like, if this was the Omega Yato, then yeah, sure. But the thing is, though, that even, like, this Corrin, I feel like is supposed to be like the one from Revelations, And the thing is, though, that the Omega Yato gave you stats. Like, the thing is, though, like a lot of these weapons, like a lot of the characters that have like their final weapons give you stats. Corrin's for some reason just seems to give you avoid and dodge, and I just find that the Yato is just like it's not even a sword worth equipping. So yeah, like dual katana that's not really good. Wakizashi that leaves you locked into range. Yato that's it has good stats on it, but I just don't think it's good.
It's good
especially
on paper.
yeah, like it sounds good in practice, but the skills, like this is the only thing that sounds good on paper. These obviously just by looking at them you can tell are bad. Yeah, 1 star. I just like the Yato, I can't even warrant giving it 2 for like it's just 1. This is all 1 to me.
Yeah, I have literally never used the Wakizashi or the Yato. 1 out of 5.
Yeah, like the dual katana, you can at least merit some merit at least, but even then, like the Yakuza, the Wakizashi, you're locked into range, and the Yato, it's just like there. Yeah, but you obviously you can forge better options. Like if I have this on DMI, which I don't know why I would, the killing as she comes with is better in every way.
Yeah, with the Yato, like it always like it looks so good. It's like it's a weapon with 16 might, 85 hit. It's got all the bonuses to crit, avoid, and dodge. It's not that heavy. But then when I go to use it, it doesn't do anything. Like there's nothing. It doesn't. It does not help.
Like you think it'd be effective against dragons?
It never works.
Like you think it'd be effective against dragons because I think the Omega Yato was actually effective against dragons.
Oh, I don't remember actually. It's been years since I played Fates.
Yeah, I know. Or at least effective against corrupted because it's fun fact, the Yato in all its final forms was actually effective against the final bosses in all the routes actually.
Yeah.
So you'd think it would be effective against corrupted because even though, because Erica we get next, her cycling is effective against corrupted, which I guess the Yato being effective against corrupted is pushing it because the corrupted are considered monsters and the cycling was effective against monsters and sacred stones, but still like something like these stats just aren't that good. Like yeah, like that's and I think that's meant what Corrin's supposed to be. Like she's not an emblem that you're supposed to use for her weapons. She's an emblem that you're supposed to use for her dragon bane, her engaged skills, and her skill inheritance. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, no, I agree. She's here for the utility. She's not really here for the damage.
There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just that like, but if you're gonna, but it feels like you want her to like. It's just that like you could have given her some better weapons, like the dual katana Wakizashi. Like there are so many better weapons from Face you could have pulled, and I understand the Yato because that's her, that's her weapon. That's her weapon.
Sword, yeah.
Yeah, like what else would you give her? All right, so I think that's it. Like I mean, so I think next time we'll definitely do the we'll do the Rosado and Goldmary chapter. Oh God, I'm dreading that chapter because, oh God, I'm gonna have a pun when we start that chapter, when we start that episode for that chapter, because you're gonna have to wait until what I've got actually saying for that chapter.
I love puns.
All right, what? I had a 3-star and I only got
nothing.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Ending on a great note.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll do supports, obviously. Like, we're just running over the time limit. So, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.